how we're perceiving the world and others, what is happening around us, is a direct reflection of what is happening for us on the inside. So our conditioning, which is a culmination of so many things, it's of the genetic lines that we've come through, the culture that we were born into, any kind of sort of beliefs and ideas that we've been handed to us about who we are and our place in the world, and that even that we're a person, that we're a separate person, all of that conditioning, and then all of the life events that occurred for you and the way that you interpreted that and the stories that you told yourself about that and the beliefs that you came up with, and all of this kind of happened unconsciously. And it's just part of the system of how this works here, where we just have this big, messy blob of conditioning. And so the way that we perceive outwardly what is happening, we have to see it through that filter of that conditioning. And so it distorts it. It distorts being able to see what is actually there. And so you could think of it like wearing a pair of spectacles, a pair of glasses, and that's the lens is your unique blob of conditioning. And so each person is going to be perceiving what is true, what is real, or would you say the world, through their own unique conditioning. So hearing it through the senses, perceiving it, seeing it, feeling it, but it's always going through the filter of that conditioning. So it will be unique because we've got unique karma, and then the genetic lines mixed together, and then you've had all the things that happened to you in your life, and that has created a unique way of perceiving. And that's kind of beautiful that we're perceiving in a unique way. The problem with it is that we're not seeing what's true, and we're also projecting whatever is unhealed within us, and that can be a lot of dysfunction for a lot of us if we haven't done sort of therapy or gone through an awakening or something along those lines. It can be quite dysfunctional what is going on in there, what we're believing, even if it's unconscious and we haven't seen it yet. And then we're projecting that onto the outside world. We're not able to see what's actually happening clearly. So an example of this is in the work that I do. This is a large part of my role, is that remembering and dealing with projection, because it's inevitable, because it can't be helped. It's happening unconsciously. And so we're not deliberately trying to do that. It's just what is happening until we heal it and let go of it. Through doing things like therapy, healing repressed emotions, breaking beliefs, all of that good stuff that I talk about. But that's what starts to break the conditioning so that we can actually start to see things more clearly. But on the very surface level, you could say it's really dysfunction that we're really wanting to get through. And this is not just for awakening, but this is just so that we can have better relationships and be more highly functioning in the world. So if we have ideas about how the world is, and then we're viewing through that lens, which can come from early childhood trauma, things that we've completely forgotten about or really might not even have access to, it's still there in the system and is still creating the filter that we perceive things through. And so we might have a very deep idea about the world being a dangerous place or something along those lines. And so we're actually perceiving the world as dangerous because of that filter. So we will notice things that's what we'll spot, is we'll notice danger, and it will reiterate to us, see, I knew it, the world is dangerous. And then it further cements that belief. And so the filter then reinforces the belief and makes it more sticky in a way. And so if you can imagine just how much is in there operating unconsciously, And then it's constantly being activated by just going about our day. We don't even need to have difficult things happen, but just going about our day, talking to people, working, being in relationship is going to be constantly bringing up this conditioning and distorting what it is that we're perceiving. So it to the point where you can literally hear what someone says you can hear different words. So they say we're talking about a relationship here. So someone that you're who have a romantic relationship, they could say something like, do you want to go out for dinner tonight? And you could hear it incorrectly, or you could perceive a tone in their voice that wasn't there or that wasn't meant. And so this is all you creating an overlay and distorting what actually happened, what actually was said. Or you could interpret that as, he doesn't like my cooking. He doesn't think that I'm a good enough wife, or whatever. I'm just trying to think of ideas off the top of my head. So you see how like our own conditioning distorts what it is that's actually happening and what's being said. And so we can hear it incorrectly. We can get triggered because we can take it personally, even though it wasn't intended to be an attack or whatever. And so this really makes our life hell, this distortion. So particularly if we've got a lot of dysfunctional conditioning in there due to trauma that hasn't been healed, then you most likely are not able to perceive clearly what it is that's going on around you. Truly, you will have a warped view of what is happening, and you can't help it. Your trauma and your conditioning is what's creating the filter that's warping. So you literally can't hear things the way that they were intended. And so that's why we really want to heal that as soon as possible, so that we're more highly functioning. Plus, when it comes to awakening, we take this a lot deeper. And so there's all these different levels to projection. And so projection can be, so I get this a lot on YouTube. So with the comments, really it's people showing me what's inside of them. They're showing me through their comment what they believe. So they might be thinking that they're talking to me, to Shar, but they're really just projecting through the comment an example of how they feel in that moment. And so it's never about me. It never is. It's never, because there isn't a Shar here. It's never about that. It's never personal. It's always just people revealing where they're at and what's going on for them. And this could be anything from loving, and which shows me inside they're feeling quite like a lot of self-love there. There's a lot of love there, to being quite hurtful or confrontational or arrogant or anything along those lines, which is a part of the YouTube world, deluded and all the rest. And it's just a direct reflection of what they are going through and where they're at with awakening and their healing, and what's in their conditioning. There's self-hatred there. They're projecting it outwardly. They think they're attacking at someone else, but they're just really revealing where they're at and what's going on for them. And so when I work with people, whether it's working with people one-on-one in a teaching environment, I do have to be very conscious of this projection, and that people can't hear me clearly because of their filter of conditioning, that they can't, that it will be distorted, and I have to work around that. And sometimes it makes it almost impossible to talk to someone about certain topics, because they just can't hear what it is that I'm trying to say, because they're so triggered and within their own world of conditioned, telling themselves what they think it is that I'm trying to say. They can't actually hear the words that I'm saying specifically. And so, anyone that's working with people in any capacity is dealing with this, certainly. And so on a deeper level, on a more fundamental level, then we start talking about what is the absolute terms of this. So, and that is that the way that we're perceiving the world is not accurate. It's not. We're seeing everything as separate from us, as objects that are outside of us, that we're in here and that's all out there. And that's where we begin. That's egoic consciousness. It's totally fine. And that's also part of what we break through awakening. So it's not about just breaking dysfunction and beliefs so that we become a healthier human, healthier individual. That is a part of it, certainly. But it's also then going beyond all of that and seeing, well, what are all these core beliefs to do with existing, to do with coming into form? Like, I'm a female, I'm a male, I'm a person, I'm separate. There's a subject in here, it's separate from the world, or I am not that. And these sort of deeper, more existential and fundamental inquiries or beliefs that have just formed just through coming into this experience, coming into this game or whatever it is that this is. And we just have bought into it. We've been conditioned to believe that that is the case. And that's fine. That's where we begin. So we can experience ourselves as separate people. Wonderful. We get to have that journey, believing we're a person. And then awakening starts to show us that even those beliefs are not true. They're not true. And that they, one by one, they're sort of stripped away. And then we're shown that the clearer we get inside and the more we break those core beliefs inside and those beliefs about existence inside, then the more we can see outwardly what is true, because the filter is thinning, the glasses, the lens is thinning, the conditioning is thinning. That's what we're attempting to do through the awakening process. And it's getting clearer and clearer and clearer. And so we're starting to see what is true. And what that is a whole different story, but it's us. It's basically us. That's what it is. And so we've just created all these overlays on top of it through all the conditioning, because we're perceiving through these glasses, and they have distorted the truth of reality. So there certainly is something there. It's not that it doesn't exist. It's not that it's illusory in the sense that it doesn't exist. There is something there that's in form, but the way we're perceiving it is incorrect due to the conditioning that we have operating. Even the conditioning that I am separate, I am a person, is distorting the way that we see what is true.